Well, on this rainy day, we're going to be making some Fisherman's Brews. Going to do it a little different today. We're actually going to be putting some potatoes in with our Fisherman's Brews. This is not a normal ingredient. Some people puts it in, some people don't. But today, we're going to be using potatoes along with our onion, our beautiful salt pork, our codfish, and also what we call Bruise. Now, our Bruise is hard bread. And this is the Bruise right here, or the hard bread. And we soak it. And it's been soaking for about 8-10 hours, so it brings back the softness. And we'll boil that for just a few seconds. Once it comes to a boil, then we'll take it off the burner, and then we'll start mixing beautiful ingredients. So this is our hard bread, which we call our Newfoundland Bruise. So we're going to start by peeling a few potatoes. Generally, you want to use potatoes the same size as your hard bread. So when it comes to adding some potato to our Fisherman's Brews, well, we're going to use 3 potatoes. That's basically the size of each cake of hard bread. And that's how we're going to determine how much potato to use. You want the right ratio. Now, it's hard to get real good potatoes this time of the year, in the spring of the year. All left over from last year. So you will get some with some tubers on it, and the odd one with a bit of rot. We're going to get those potatoes in the pot, and a lot of people will put on a couple of different pots for each item that you're going to boil, like the potatoes in one pot, fish in another pot. Nah, we're going to cook it all in the same pot. There we go. So in order to get them to cook a little faster, we're just going to dice them up. That way we'll know if there's any rot inside. If it is, just cut it out. And there we go. Let's cut this one in half. Get it into the pot. Now let's prepare our fish. So again, we're just going to put the fish right into the pot. Beautiful codfish. We will take the skin off the fish after it's boiled. So all we're doing is just taking it out of the bag. You can see the skin. Beautiful, beautiful codfish. Look at that. Beautiful. Look at that. And we're just putting it into the pot. Making sure it's under the water. Move things around a bit. There we go. Put the pot on. Turn the burner on. Go. Keep it on high. And it won't take no time for this to boil. We're going to boil the potatoes and the fish for probably 20-25 minutes. Once the potatoes are soft, the fish is cooked. Cast iron pot, or our cast iron our cast iron frying pan and our avocado oil. So let's get some of this taken away. Need something better. Let's get the peel off this. We're just going to cut out the center, get some of that hardness out of it. Green stem. Okay, let's dump this in the garbage. That bag needs to be taken out today. So it won't take long for our fish to come to a boil. We're going to get going on our onions. We're going to cut these up very small. Let's take this out right here. It's up to you. Some people will keep it in, but I'm taking it out. There we go. And you want it to cut up very small pieces. So when it comes to potato, just an added ingredient. You don't have to use it. Most people don't. But we're doing it a little different today. Why not? Why not do it a little different? The same old, same old. Sometimes you get tired of it and you want to mix things up. It doesn't mean it's not going to taste any good. It's going to be a little different. A little more hearty. Definitely going to be delicious. So we cut up our onions very small. Is there such thing as having too much onion? Well, some people would say yes. Some people are not crazy about onion, but it puts a great taste on our foods. So that's why a lot of people would use maybe onion flakes or onion powder. They want the taste of it, but they don't want the texture. And that's fine too. But, you know, some people have their onion a little hard. And sometimes if you cook it or saute it, really makes a big difference. And a lot of people wouldn't even notice that it's there. So definitely how you cook it makes a difference too. Now that's probably enough onion, because the mistake was I peeled 2 onions. So if we peel 2, we're going to be using 2. Fisherman's Brewis is something Mom's not crazy about eating. No, it's not one of her favorite meals. So we didn't have Fisherman's Brewis a lot growing up, but we definitely had fish and potatoes, and a lot of times Bruise on the side. But it's funny that when you're younger, a lot of those foods you weren't crazy about it yourself. You didn't want them. You didn't, you know, it was chicken nuggets and French fries, and you know, that was the food for a lot of kids. But when it came to fish and potatoes, a lot of us didn't want to see it. But it's funny, as we got older, we miss it and we want it. And I crave it. It's funny, isn't it? How your taste buds change, or I don't know. Sometimes it's a connection of what it reminds you of. I mean, you talk to different people when it comes to different foods, and they'll say they make the best or their mother makes the best. But it's not always the best, even though they might think, and even though I might think Mom's mac and cheese is the absolute best. A lot of it is the connection, the feeling that it gives us to be able to go back in time taste those foods. Just brings back such great memories. So it's not always that it's the best taste in food. It's the feeling that it gives you when you eat those childhood foods. And that's really what it's about, is that feeling that it gives you. It gives you a great feeling inside. So that's why Mom's mac and cheese is always the best. Now we got some salt pork. We're going to use all of that. So salt pork is one of those ingredients that's a staple in Newfoundland. Goes back since the trawler days, the fishing days. We're going to take the cover off that just a little bit. It's boiling, so I'm going to time it. Although I'm going to check the potatoes every so often. And there we go. Let's set the timer. We're going to set it for 20 minutes. See what happens from there. There we go. Everything all steamed up. Beautiful. So we're going to add the avocado oil to the pan. We're going to get a nice bit in there. We want this to fry up, as they call scrunchions, our salt pork, called scrunchions. We've got a fly that went into the oil. We don't need any more protein. There we go. We got to turn it down a bit. We're going to get that pan hot. We're going to keep turning this down. We want to boil. We don't want it to keep overflowing. So we want to get a nice temperature on that. Nice consistent temperature. So we can keep that pot, keep that cover slightly on the pot. So we're going to keep an eye on that. I tell you, don't take long for the oil to eat up in those pans, cast iron pans. We're going to cut up our salt pork very small pieces. Very small pieces. The rind part, I call the rind part. We'll cut that after. So salt pork, very salty, but absolutely delicious in foods. Prepping your food, frying it up, that sort of thing is incredible. Just puts that nice taste that table salt can't do. So it is great in baked beans. You're frying up fish. Almost anything that you put in the cast iron that needs salt or would taste great with salt, you would add some salt pork. This is where you get your salt instead of using table salt. So we're going to slice this up, even though it's, as they say, come apart at the seams. There we go. Again, small pieces. Small pieces. Okay, we're going to move cover just a little. Actually, we're going to turn it down just a little. Just a little. So get our salt pork in. You see that? Our onion as well. That knife is not working. Smaller cutting board will be okay. We're going to put it right down on low. We don't want this to cook too quick. So look at this beautiful saute. Look at this. We can probably turn it up just a little bit. Just a little bit. We don't want anything burning, but we definitely want a nice saute to our onions and our scrunchions. Our salt pork is called scrunchions. Gotta keep moving it because the grill on top of this burner isn't level. With all the heat over the years being used for doing our preserves, bottling our preserves, the heat kind of warped it a bit. So we want to get that oil up on top. Don't want anything to stick on, don't want anything to burn. Sounds like she went out. There we go. We don't have the right flame. I'm going to turn it off. Turn it back on. There we go. We got the right flame. And I want it up a little bit. Nothing serious. Because where it's uneven, I don't want it to burn on. But I'm going to keep moving it. So once everything is fully cooked, we're going to remove the skin from the codfish. So you see already, right there, used to be pure white, our pork, salt pork. It's starting to turn. That is your salt pork. We got to get it a little more browner than that. And our onions, well, yeah, we got to cook it down more. We don't want any hard onions. We want it very soft, very delicious. Get out that avocado oil with your onion, your beautiful salt pork. You crispy it, and then they call it scrunchions. Newfoundland scrunchions. Beautiful flavor. Puts a nice, beautiful salt taste. Everything you cook with salt pork. We don't want this to stick on. Color is starting to come around. It's getting a little too hot for me. So we just want to get that nice color, starting to turn a nice golden brown. Gives it a beautiful flavor to our Fisherman's Bruise. Look at the beautiful colors. Look at that. Look at that. That's what we're looking for. Beautiful colors. We don't want to overdo it. We don't want to overdo it. Just a few more seconds, as we say. We're just going to keep it there for a little bit more. Actually, I'm going to turn it off because that cast iron is going to keep cooking it. Now we got our strainer. We got our bowl. Our bowl. Look at this. Beautiful, beautiful. Take our lid off. Handle's a little hot. We're going to pour this in there. Look at that fish. Look at that fish. Look at it. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. There we go. Lay that right there. Look at that. Right back there. Get rid of this water. Off there. Put that right there. Move this to one side here. Just let the oil drain out of it a bit. There we go. So we're going to put the skin over there. And the skin comes off fairly easily. I'm going to turn that fish over. There we go. Very, very hot. Look at that. Just comes off so easy. Sometimes you might have to scrape it a little bit, but you don't want to take those flakes off the beautiful cod. Let's test the potato again. Oh yeah. 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 So, there we go. Nice. Codfish is one of those fish that's very filling. Very filling. And very high in protein and nutrients. Now some would say, why are you getting rid of the skin? We normally eat the skin. But for this dish, you can't have the skin added. The skin has to come off. It's just some recipes, it's like that. And there we go. Look at that. Hot, 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 hot. Very hot. Piece tucked in there. Get that out. So I know what you're going to say. Lots of nutrients in the skin, and you're right. But we need the skin off. It doesn't work for this recipe. Whew. Hot, 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 hot. Oh, oh. Sometimes you just got to scrape it a little bit. There we go. Beautiful fish. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. And this is local cod. Local caught cod. So it is perfect fresh. Well, I say it's fresh. And what I mean by that is it's not store-bought, which we don't know really how long. It's been packaged, frozen. This was caught last year. So we'll soon be ready for fresh cod from this year. Ooh, that's still hot, very hot. Fish is starting to cool down a bit, but the skin is still very hot. There we go. Sometimes you miss a piece. Not a big deal. Sometimes it's in the crevice, folding off the cod when it was packaged. So let's see how much we can get off this one. Try to get most of it. Very easy to skin once it's cooked. There we go. I could put the spuds in there if I wanted to. Let's cut a little bit of that off. There we go. So there we go. That's done. We're going to add the scrunchions. A little bit of oil. Help with it. There we go. Beautiful taste. We got some butter as well. We're going to add some butter. Let's get that butter underneath so it melts. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful fish. How white it is. It's absolutely beautiful. And of course our potatoes. So when it comes to the hard bread, now it's very soft. Very soft. So the water has gone back into it to hydrate it. There you go. Squishy. So all we're going to do is bring this to a boil. Once it boils, because basically all we're going to do is warm it up. And once it's boiled, it's warm. I'm going to take it off and add it to our Fisherman's Brews. Okay, it's boiling. So that means cover comes off. Strain it. You wanna, it's very wet, so you want to get as much of that water out as possible. Now let's dump it. There we go. And there we have it. Fisherman's Brews. Look how beautiful that is. See these little fibers that stick off? Almost looks like little hairs. Well, that's all the fibers from the codfish. The codfish is broken up very small. It is amazing. It is delicious. Look at that. Beautiful. It is really good. The saltiness from the salt pork. You got the potato in there, goes along with it. Of course, our Bruise and that beautiful local codfish. It's a very filling meal. Perfect for at the cabin, at the cottage, or just on a rainy day. It's absolutely delicious. Amazing. We have so much seafood here in Newfoundland. Able to get easy access to it. We are very privileged. Just add a scrunchion in that bite. Maybe if I had a little bit more salt pork, a little bit more onion, could have fried up all the onion. But that is incredible. Look at that. That is what you call a meal fit for a king. Oh, that's so good. I guess I'll be taking some of this to work with me tomorrow. That is beautiful. Scrunching. Very hearty. Super filling. Super delicious. Super healthy. A little bit of salt. Not a big deal. The salt pork. Oh yeah. Nice salty taste from the pork. Beautiful. Can't go wrong. If you enjoyed this video, please check out our cod stew, our fish stew. I think you'll enjoy that too. Something different. You might not have seen a fish stew before. Go check it out, and we'll see you in our next video.